Good day to you. My name is Mike Addison, and I'm representing Addsure, FSP 15269. Okay, today I want to speak to you about load shedding, and more specifically, how to mitigate against risks related to load shedding around common property. I could speak for ages about some of the risks and what you can do, and we can list a whole pile of things that you can do within your section to protect yourselves better. For example, looking at your double adapters or those long adapters that you buy, those are risky areas when it comes to load shedding, keeping your stove off and keeping hair dryers and devices switched off and so on and so on. But today I'm focusing on the common property. Now, there's something that I've seen lately. The risks around common property when there's load shedding is high. And it's fair to say, after 10 years or so of load shedding, we should really be looking at our common property from a safety point of view. I think it's fair to say that common property risks during load shedding are not unforeseen risks anymore. They are certainly foreseen risks. And therefore, I think trustees need to be doing stuff around the common property. For example, making sure that the lighting is adequate in the dark passages and on some of the common property areas, on the pathways, when the lighting is down or there is load shedding. 4 hours load shedding when people are coming home from work at night is just something quite dangerous. Slip and fall injuries, and it just highlights some of the areas that you might not have perfected. For example, your paving might not be so great, at least if it's lit by some sort of secondary source, then of course you're reducing the risk substantially. Never mind your gates that are now maybe not secure, and maybe your electric fence electricity is down. What we think a good idea is to have a look at solarising at least the common area part. In other words, having a solar system. I've recently seen one, and a video presented by Mr. Glen from the Vyver of Waterlight really perked my interest, and I'm going to actually bring that video and edit it in here so that you can see exactly what I'm speaking about. So what you would do is you would have a solar panels or areas of solar on the roof of the scheme so that it feeds the lighting and some of the common area items to reduce risk. And I've got a list of advantages. It's a very short 7-point list, the 7 points why I think it's a good idea to actually solarize your common property. Number one, it provides security for the common area and supply. It's convenient. Isn't it much more convenient if you have uninterrupted supply of electricity to your common property? Let's face it. The safety is improved. There's a reduction of liability. Slip and fall claims are almost gone because it's not dark in those areas anymore. There's a risk of other risks like security lapses, power surge, wear and tear. The wear and tear on items when there's a power surge is quite dramatic. There's an electrical savings, because if there's solar energy powering your common property, there's definitely electrical savings. And of course, the last point, it's green. So you are really contributing to taking some electricity off the much strained grid, and of course, providing a greener solution to the country's needs anyway. So there we go. 7 good reasons why I think solar is good, particularly to reduce the insurance risks around common property. So here follows a video as presented by Mr. Glen van der Vyver on site recently. Okay, on that note, I'll say goodbye.
The stairwell was in complete darkness beforehand, so we've put lighting for the stairs. So they're dedicated for the stairs. They come on and off with the day-night switch, as do all the common property lights, on and off with the day-night switch. Because they're dedicated solar, we've got a max reg over there that controls the charging of the battery as well as the discharging of the battery. the batteries sit up in a space that's unobstructed, and kids can't get their fingers in there. And those batteries are in a modular type system, will supply a portion of the complex, and in other places we've got other systems that will supply a different portion, and a third system that supplies a different portion. So having smaller modular systems for common property is where savings can sit for the complexes, rather than one big system sitting in a central place that supplies everything. And if there's a failure, the whole complex is down again. So currently the passage is lit by the original lights, or they were lit by the original lights is what I should say. The original lights draws power from within the unit. So if the unit owner chooses not to turn the light on, he's entitled to it. It's his light, the switch is inside. So what happens is this complex is in entire darkness during the course of the night. Passages are completely dark. So what we've done is we've run cables, and we've fitted solar lighting, 12-volt solar lighting into the common properties all the way down, so that the whole passage is lit by 12-volt, dedicated 12-volt lights. Absolutely no grid. It just runs off. It just runs off the batteries and the controller around the corner.
On that note, I'll say goodbye.